Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of the Dramatic Dream Dragons podcast. I am, as always, your host, Sondre, and we are, as always, a podcast all about Dragongate and DDT. It's been a while since our last recording, but it's because a lot of personal stuff came up on my side and on Dylan's side, and Yannik have also been busy. We've all been busy the past couple of weeks, so that's why it's been over a week since our last recording. But we are now the original crew back together. All parts of the Dramatic Dream Dragons. We got the Dramatic, and we got the Dream, and we got the Dragon. How are you guys doing?
It's so good to be back, guys. It's really a great microcosm of life. You guys, you're both busy doing great things with your life. Man, it's busy, but still you're doing stuff, you're accomplishing things, and I'm just trying to make it. Pretty much. Not really accomplishing anything, not really doing anything, just trying to live. And that's where we are right now. And now to be back, I'm really hyped, honestly, to be back. I haven't recorded anything on any of my shows, actually, in a couple of weeks, just because I had a little harrowing health issue, to be honest with you. But everything's good now. We're here talking about wrestling, which is the thing we all love most. And very happy to talk to you guys again. And most importantly, all the listeners out there, thank you guys so much for supporting the Dramatic Dream Dragons and obviously the promotions that we cover and we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, we're not going to do a structured review section of the shows that have happened because that would take too long, and the shows were very nothing, so we're mostly just going to check in on the different scenes. Starting with Dragongate, we have confirmed that Casey Time can only last 5 days because he held the Open the Brave Gate title for 5 days. When he beat Ishin in Sendai on the Gate of Origin, but he lost it 5 days later to Ishin again in Kobe Art Center in a longer match. Both of these matches I felt were pretty good. Not anything outstanding or anything like I wanted them to be. But they were pretty okay. I felt like the first one was weaker than the second one. I think Yannik is against me on that, and he felt the first one was better than the second one. But both matches serve their purpose of having Casey Time only last 1 week.
I really don't feel strongly about any of these.
Yeah. Dylan, what do you think about these two?
I'm totally with you. I thought the second one was better, but neither one of them were great, to be honest with you. I can see why Yannick had that reaction. What did you think about... what was your reaction when Casey won the title? That is what I want to know.
My reaction when Casey won the title, I was talking with a good friend of the show, Paul Wedding, about it, and we both said the same thing. Oh, he's so just dropping it next week or something to Ishin. This is such a 1 week title win.
Yeah, to me it was clearly like that right away because it was going to be Fuda at first.
Yeah,
for the challenger. So it was clear, okay, we couldn't do this match we wanted to do, so we're going to throw this curveball to make it seem more exciting. But then obviously it would be rectified very quickly, and it was. It gives KZ something. Very minor, obviously, but if he hadn't have done this, what would he have to hang his hat on at this point? Yeah, so at least gives him a little something that he was the guy that they gave this to. But in terms of the matches, I don't think either really stood out. But I do think the second one was an improvement, and that gives me a little bit of happiness to it because I think I've made my opinions on Ishin kind of clear at this point over the year, and I don't really feel any different than I have all year about him. But I do like that they have, trusted to give him a little bit of a spotlight. Second match was in the main event of the show. The other one wasn't the main event. You got a little bit more time with the second match. I thought they added a little bit more to it. And, the finish, it was all right. Like both matches were really all right. Like, I don't
I
have anything
really
negative.
felt like in the last match, when Casey dropped the title back, Seabrats truly felt like a threat again. That was the big point about that one in the finishing stretch, was that Seabrats finally felt like they were really threatening, and like Natural Vibes couldn't do anything but watch, basically, because Seabrats was just pretty good in their heel shenanigans. The thing about this is that it has added, before, Casey's total time with opening the Bravegate title was only 47 days. Now it's gone up to 52 days. That's a slight upgrade.
And like I said, I mean, who else could it? Or who else would it have been really? That it's not a big role by any means, but it at least says something that it was him. You know, it could have been anybody really that could have done this. It could have been Jason if they wanted, but instead they threw it to KZ. So I think that's at least a little something if you're a KZ fan, to look at. But
it's also something if you're a Ishin fan.
Yeah, it's a big win for Ishin to have
absolutely. I think that's another reason why I like the second match better, because it felt like that actually accomplished something. And like the first one was just like, okay, this is clearly like a filler deal that's gonna get wiped out quick. And the second one, I felt it did at least accomplish something. I think in general, they've done a pretty decent job with Zebrats ever since Shun's gotten back. I think that's something they've kind of been focused on. Obviously, there's like a lot of our episodes in the past month or two have been talking about how cold things are in the company, but I do think you could point out a couple of things now that look like they're going in a good direction, and I think that is one of them, is that they, are trying to rebuild with Shun back.
Yes. As I said, the last recording, man, it's been so... I would never speak a bad word about Shun ever again, because when he came back, you truly felt how much this promotion has missed him. Because he has been so missed, and right now, him just being back on these smaller shows is kind of just adding a bit of energy to them. But we've already gotten the new challenger for Ishin, the Gate of Destiny challenger, and it's not who anyone expected. But on the show from the 15th, the day after he won back the title, Genki Horiguchi won a Battle Royal, a Kobe Battle Royal, and he said that Horiguchi gave Ishin a choice, basically, about wanting to challenge, because Ishin had said, the winner of this match I will evaluate as a challenger for my title. And Horiguchi gave him a choice. He said, either you choose me, who's 45 years old and have no hair, and is experienced, and all that, or you choose Ryo Tanaka, who was the last one before me that got eliminated, who has 5 months in his career and no wins. Ishin immediately said, "Oh, I'll just pick the Ryo Tanaka, the less experienced one," and the match was set. Horiguchi basically gave him a weaker challenger, which is cool. I think that's a pretty good match for Ryo Tanaka to have a Bravegate title match on such a big show as Gate of Destiny in Edion Arena. Way bigger spotlight for a Bravegate challenge for him than I expected. Like, if he was going to get the Bravegate shot, I would expect it to be in Korakuen or something. But it's cool that he gets the Edion Arena.
What do you think about the setup to this? Like, with Horiguchi and then transferring it to Tanaka?
It's charming. Like, I wouldn't be into it. Genki Horiguchi Bravegate title shot at this point.
Yeah, if I'd be up for it if Genki had any kind of momentum.
Yeah.
If he was kind of focused on, it would be just very cold. And here, Ishin can hopefully do it without the whole heel shtick, and they just go out there and have the best match Tanaka can. Which is still a big if.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's fine. It's not something I'm really excited for, honestly.
I honestly would have rather it have been Genki, because I think that's something that I would like to see out of Ishin. And I think it would be good to have somebody who's, and hopefully this will work with Tanaka too. And don't get me wrong, I mean I've been really impressed with Tanaka, obviously, and I
Yeah.
love that he's getting the title shot.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think with somebody like Genki, he is perfect for like the guy the crowd rallies behind. You know, like
And
the underdog
It
old guy.
also has so much history with Brevgate. Like
Yeah.
they could talk about all the history Genki has with it, and it would be a sort of, even though Genki is way past his prime right now, it would be a sort of big win for Ishin to pin someone that has been very associated with that title over the years.
Yeah, that's another thing. They put a lot of effort into Ishin, like, you know, to really get this thing over, and to do it this way, it was like amusing. Honestly, I agree with you that it was charming, but I think that him beating Genki would have actually been a little bit more, and I actually think the match could have been a little bit more whole. I'm very high on Tanaka, as we all are, and I've said before. But and I think he'll do great. I have no doubts about his skills or what he'll bring to the table in the match. But just for an Ishin match, I would like to see something where maybe we can rally the crowd, get some excitement going, and for a one-off, ultimately, you know, I don't think anybody thinks Tanaka will win the title, obviously, but it's just a one-off match to kind of extend the title reign. Maybe they'll get behind something like that again, even if it's not Genki, somebody of his ilk. What if
Yeah.
it had been Punch? Because he was in that match.
Oh yes.
Double champion Punch.
Now you know.
Double duty punch.
But that's what I meant. Genki could easily be in the same situation as Punch.
Yeah.
And then I would have really liked it. But
Yeah.
remember the last time someone had a Bravegate match 5 months into their career?
Yeah, that was Takuma Fujiwara.
It was fucking awesome.
And it was the best Bravegate title match that year.
It was also Dragon Dia, not Ishin, but
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm saying. Like, you know, you can't compare Ishin and Daya, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. But since you mentioned Punch, Dylan, what did you think about Yamato, Dragon Kid, and Punch Tominaga becoming the Triangle Gate champions in Korakuen Hall?
It definitely was unexpected. You know, I didn't predict it. I don't think any of us predicted that at the start, to be honest.
No.
And the match was not.
They weren't a team that were in the tournament at the start of the tournament.
But you still could have predicted it if you had been psychic.
That's true.
it's
the
what
match,
I do usually.
yeah. So of course, I'm not hype about this team as like a work rate team, but it's a fun story. Like it's something like way out of left field. Like a strange spotlight on Punch Tamanaga has happened, and I don't know if that's like fun or kind of like bad, to be honest. But I'm amused by it. But I definitely am not saying, oh, you know, you have to watch that Zebrats and Punch team match, like, you know, or anything like that. I would say, oh,
yeah,
this
the
is
Gate
kinda...
of Origin match was not good, but the
no,
Korakuen
not at all.
Hall main event was very good. I thought.
I still like, a part of me likes. It's like the opposite of the Grinch. I think my heart shrunk 3 times its size when I saw Yoshioka doing the job to punch Tamanaga on there. But
They have to be doing something with like that. That whole thing seems like such a story.
why can't? And again, I mean, I'm fine with this. Like I said, I'm not even being negative on it. Like it's something kind of ridiculous, but fine. Why can't DeCourage just be the champions? They've never won these belts, you know. Like despite being a 3-man group.
And I think they never will, because I feel like that
Yeah.
is going to be shaken up.
What if Punch joined DeCourage?
Where he belongs.
Very
Exactly.
blunt.
That's what I was the one saying that from the very start.
Maybe Punch Tominaga was the thing missing. Maybe
Don't
Punch
question me.
Maybe Punch Tominaga was the thing missing to get high end over. Because Yamato and Dragon Kid are now over because of teaming with Punch. Because Punch is very over with the Dragon Gate audience right now.
Yeah, I'm really into this team, and I'm really happy that they won, and they should just ride away for like a month.
And they are
and that's
definitely
fine.
retaining on Gate of Destiny because the team they have lined up for them, if they win the Triangle Gate, I will be.
Nah,
very confused.
it will be okay if they wrestled as masked wrestlers.
Maybe. Yeah, because on these Kobe Art Center shows, on the night one, someone in a mask attacked Punch Tominaga during his entrance. And it was clearly Don Fuji. It was clearly Don Fuji. He was in a mask.
He wore his trainer jacket, and it had
Yeah, it said his name.
Fuji on the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was not even trying to hide it. It was very funny. But the day after they revealed themselves, it was Don Fuji and Takeshi Yoshida are under masks, and they are going to be joined by Bodyguard to face Yamato, Dragon Kid, and Punch Tominaga at Gate of Destiny and Edion Arena for the Open the Triangle Gate Championships. I really hope this is a retention because I don't want to deal with Bodyguard in the Dragon Gate.
Well, that's an Osaka deal, right?
Yeah, it's an Osaka deal. Osaka Pro. It makes sense.
Yeah. So, like, he'll probably bring some of the Osaka folks out there. Has Tony Khan started booking Dragon Gate with all of these comedy angles, like for the belts right now? It feels like, outside of one, obviously we'll talk about it in the future, but it's like up and down the card. It's like, all right, we don't really have anything hot going on right now, so we're gonna do this really like weird stuff up and down, and we'll see how it works. And it's been, like I said, mostly amusing. Like I said, this Punch deal. The one thing I will say too about what you said about them riding the wave for a month. You could have easily have made a very similar argument for the Twin Gates with Kanda and Susumu earlier in the year,
Oh, yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
look how long that's gone.
And
I don't foresee this catching the same lightning in a bottle, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
it's fun.
I don't see them holding the titles much longer after Osaka Edion Arena. Like I could see them dropping it on the Korakuen like 3 days later. Because the November Korakuen is like, I think it's on the 7th, and Gate of Destiny is on the 5th. So,
What if Punch pulls a Kanda though, and he just steals our hearts and has these great matches?
I mean, in the main event of the last Korakuen, he did for me. Like I said it last week or whatever, that match is such a, like, for me it's a great match of Dragon Gate because it was such a charm. Like, just seeing the crowd behind Punch and feeling like Punch's energy throughout the match was very heartwarming and a big highlight of the match that made it very unique and only in Dragon Gate kind of. And
yeah, it works. It's super easy. Like, like the guy who's never done anything in his life, always been the joke of the company, is now like gets his moment. Like it's so easy to do. And it worked overall for that one match. And then the Gate of Origin match happened, and it's like, oh, yeah.
Like, I don't think it's gonna last that long. Hopefully.
It's an interesting observation I made. 2023, I really got a soft spot for many quote-unquote bad wrestlers. Like Punch and Yoshida, I have way more patience for than, like half a year ago.
Yeah.
Or especially 1 year ago. But also in other promotions, like for example, Miyu Hamasaki or Mai Sakurai. I still wouldn't say like they're great wrestlers. They're both pretty young in their careers. An opposite, opposing Yoshida and Punch, but I don't know. I'm just kinda into the low stakes mid card comedy, having fun acts.
No coincidence that my Sakurai's been this lightning rod of popularity after she started using my old finishing move, the Harlem Hangover. So
And also Kevin acknowledging Kevin.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, but she's all right. She's fine, but and Yoshida you like because you saw him in person and that changed your opinion.
I saw him howling.
Yeah. I think the match on Gate of Destiny is going to be just fine. I don't see this being like a blowaway match or anything, but it's a match to fill out the card, and it gets a local wrestler in there like bodyguard. I would have preferred if it was like someone else from Osaka Pro, like Zeus or Billy Ken Kid or something.
Zeus is the only one you thought of.
Yeah, he was immediately. I think I said it the day I saw the reveal. I was like, oh, I would have preferred if this was Zeus. He would fit in more.
Yeah, you did say that.
But yeah.
Ooh,
But
shots fired, receipts.
As I said, this match will be better if they wrestle masked.
That is true. But I am not worried about any other undercard match stealing the show, because I have a feeling that this Twin Gate match could steal the show at Gate of Destiny. Confirmed after, I think it was Yoshioka pinned Kanda in a 8-man tag, or 6-man tag, but they have confirmed that Susumu Mochizuki and Sushi Kanda will defend the Twin Gate titles at Gate of Destiny on November 5th in Edion Arena versus the original duo of D-Courage, Yuki Yoshioka and Dragon Dia. I am very hyped about the original D-Courage getting back into the Twin Gate scene. This match, on paper for me, is very good. Like, two of my favorite teams getting together, and I am pretty hyped for this.
The Kurt should lose so hard.
They will lose. I have a feeling that Yoshioka takes the pin also.
Screw that. This tag run's like long overstayed its welcome. Let's put the titles on good people. No, have good matches. And like I said, this is like the one thing they could do, because I've been so down on Yoshioka the last 3 months. But now we're getting the A team of the Courage back. I didn't really expect this, to be honest, but now that it's happening, I'm all aboard. They cut their first run short. Yeah, give them a tag run and do something that could also, yeah.
But who wants the A team of D Courage when you can have the A team of M3K?
See, the thing is, I want like the clear goal for this Kanda and Mochizuki Susumu run has been, for me, it's been leading to them being challenged by father and son in their own unit, Mochizuki Jr. and Masaki Mochizuki. And I feel like that should be the final gate, Twin Gate match. And,
yeah, that's not a bad idea. Honestly,
that's been like what I've been thinking about this team ever since they won the title. Like, they should drop it to their faction mates.
Yeah, I mean, they could really do something to build up the Mochizuki's story, Junior and Masaki, obviously, as well. So it's not a bad idea, but I still think that this. I mean, if that happens in Final Gate, it's fine. Yeah, if it's Final Gate, it's fine. I also think that you could do a very interesting thing if Kikuta loses and these two titles. That kind of reverses things, where the guy who's been the champion all year, now he's the odd man out, like just at the start. I think you could tell some fun stories with that if they wanted, but I like your idea. Honestly, I'm hyped for this Courage team getting a title shot, and I hope that it turns into a great match.
The place where Yuki Yoshioka. Oh, is Dylan okay?
Yeah, he cut out for me too. I don't hear him either.
Well,
And he's back. Is he?
no, it says he speaks, but I can't hear him.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just continue. You'd want to say something, Sondre.
Yeah, I
Or we
thought I
cut
was.
back.
Oh.
He's back. And he's back.
Oh, okay. Now you can finally hear me because I was talking like the whole time.
Okay. No, continue with what you were saying.
What was the last thing you heard me say?
Don't remember. No, I was just gonna say that Yuki Yoshioka, the place where he shines this year is in the tag or multi-mans. Like in the singles matches, I admit that he has been degraded this year, ever since he dropped the title. But in the multi-mans and the tag title, the tag matches, he really shines, and that's why he's still like ranked really high on my rest of the year list. It's because of all these like tag matches and multi-mans on on smaller shows. And I'm really looking forward to the Twin Gate match because of that.
They're a great trio, honestly. Like the Courage trio, like they haven't had the titles, but a lot of their matches, just the way they work together, is really strong. I really like what they bring to the table.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, then those are the title matches announced for Edion Arena Osaka on Gate of Destiny. Of course, we also have in the main event Big Boss Shimizu challenging Madoka Kikuta for the Open the Dream Gate title. I don't think any of our opinions have changed on this. Like I'm still very, very looking forward to this match, and I still feel like Shimizu is the only logical choice. But I could see Kikuta retaining.
Yeah, I think this is a good path for them to take for the title. Pretty much, with how things have been going, things haven't been great by any stretch of the imagination with his title reign. But I think that Kikuta's been in a tough spot just simply because a lot of times, I mean, his two defenses, everybody goes back to when he won the title, obviously. But then you look at the defenses, and it's like not only the build, whatever you want to say about him, but they're not really antagonistic challengers. It's like your partner, like clearly a babyface,
Yeah.
and then Minoura, obviously popular with Gold Class. Shimizu's a little bit different. He still kind of has a good vibe to him. It'll be interesting to see how the fans react to that show. But I expect them to be behind Kikuta, to be honest, or Shimizu rather. Going in there, Shimizu is what I meant to say. I expect them to be behind him, but I think that it'll be interesting to see the power battle they had at the King of Gate. Was one of the best matches of the whole tournament. So if you see that, the stakes are raised. You're going to be in the main event. I think that this could be a really great match, and I hope it is for everybody's sake. But I would say 4 out of 5 predictions. I would say Shimizu will win, but I also think there's a chance that Kikuta can retain. Like you said, it's not like it's vital that they change it now or anything like that. And with Final Gate coming right up, you could easily set something up with whoever you want. Really, there's nobody really in view, and I think that's why we think that the title will change. Because if he won, who would he face? We don't know. It would be, you could say anybody, but it wouldn't really be that great, probably. But yeah, I like the match. I think it'll be good.
Yeah. So the Gate of Destiny is 2 weeks out from now. We'll have 3 shows, none with English commentary until then.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm kinda afraid that Kikuta will win, which he absolutely should not.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he has been the guy they have been focused on this year, and they have kind of catch lightning in the bottle with Shimizu here. Or Shimizu has made himself lightning in the bottle.
Yeah, sure, that's accurate.
And it's like he really feels like the guy that should.
Now, who truly made himself lightning in the bottle is Punch.
Yeah, well, that's true. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how we feel about this after the last 3 shows before the Gates of Destiny. Of course, 2 upcoming this weekend and 1 on the 4th, the day before. But we also have something else going on in this month, and that is Yoshiki Kato having a 5-match trial series. We have seen 3 matches so far in the 5-match series. The last 2 are in this weekend. The first one was against the just mentioned Big Boss Shimizu on Gate of Origin. Big Boss Shimizu defeated him after 8 minutes and 55 seconds. I thought this was a very strong Haas versus Haas match, and probably the best one of the trial series matches so far.
Oh, easily the best to me. I thought this was like a really strong match. So impressed with Kato in a pretty big spot here. I mean, all of the matches were big, spots for him facing top guys, and here you saw him right off the bat with a guy who's like his natural, like not in a generational sense, but a natural rival overall. I mean, and even Shimizu, it's interesting because he's been so up and down and crazy booked over the years. He kind of like the storyline is very real about him not being in the Big Six because you don't think about a big generational rival with him, right? Or something that you point to. You could say maybe Ben K as partners, but nothing where you could see something like that. But there you see these two, and they're just a hand in glove fit. Kato is awesome. I would love to see, maybe down the line if they can get Shimizu into a world champion level tier in the next couple of years. I would love for that to be kind of Kato's big breakout moment, but that's way down the line. But this first match was really good, and I really liked what I saw.
Yeah, I told you guys in private before, I kind of prefer the Yoshiki Kato trail series, where he just goes hiking. But yeah, the Shimizu one is definitely the best one. I'm not too high on most of them, even on this one.
You really aren't letting that like one typo I had in the evening after
I even began it with, I know it's a typo, but I really do like the idea of like a slice of life anime of the Dragongate rookies going hiking.
Yep.
You just want to watch people walk around.
Yes.
That's a European pastime. Yeah, the Shimizu match is definitely the highlight of the trial series so far. Yamato versus Yoshiki Kato on the 14th in Kobe Art Center. A very like brutal chop battle, but I felt like the match was degraded because the quality of the stream was not that good, and it also was a lot of heat, but the chops were great. Like it was a great chop exchange. That's the big highlight of the match for me.
Yeah, I loved it. I was always a huge fan when they would do the chop tournaments in the past, the King of Chop. So I have no problem with that. But like you said, I've noticed that you two both. We were talking off the air about Pure J. I mean, we've got some, video quality snobs right now on this show. We need it to be picture perfect HD. You want to see those moles on the back of people before you get invested in this match. But no, it was a solid match. Nothing bad, but nothing I would say. Oh,
it had more to it than the match 3 in the trial series.
Oh, this was definitely better than that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So match 3 on the 15th, the day after, versus Shin Skywalker, just 6 minutes, 11 seconds. The Yamato match went 11 minutes and 36 seconds. Shun, it was a lot of heat, and at one point it looked like Shun had knocked Kato out because Kato was struggling to get backstage after the match. It might have been cut short because of that, but not anything worthwhile in this match.
No, you hit the nail on the head.
And then another thing going on. Well, then his last matches will be this weekend. I'll preview those shows in a bit, but first we need to check in on another guy that is back in Dragongate, doing big stuff. Or right now, he's just getting used to the tour again. Luis Mante, Diamante. He returned in Korakuen, and since then he has had 5 matches back. 2 pretty good singles matches that were both very short, but 2 pretty good singles matches with 2 of the people he has the best chemistry with in singles matches, Jason Lee and Jackie Funky Kame. The Jackie Funky Kame match is awesome. It's only 6 minutes, but it's such a highlight, and you really should fire up the YouTube, the Dragongate YouTube, and watch that on the digest because it is really great. The Jason Lee one also pretty good. I'm really hyped to have Luis Monte back. He feels like a presence on all of these shows, and I've been really missing it. Him.
I wouldn't call the JFK one great. So Luis is obviously confused in what he wants to be. Like, is he a face or is he a heel? Does he know?
I feel like that's more of him just doing what he used to do, but still figuring out
That's
his
the
new
problem.
character. Yeah. Dylan, what do you think about him right now?
His return, I mean, he came across like a superstar.
Yeah.
You know, that was like the most energetic and passionate, like I personally felt watching the company was upon his return. And then you see him wrestle. And I mean, I personally like both matches. I like both of his singles matches. But they were just so short that I wish that we could have seen a little bit more. And I do think JFK was a little bit better with the time limit, and maybe just stylistically or whatever. Really helped out that end. So I really liked that match. It was good. Like both of them were good, I thought. But I was really more focused on his return angle than the matches. I don't think we've got to see where that will. I won't make any judgment on his wrestling, you know, with such a small sample size, but his return pop was really good, and it's one of those things you wish if we had a time machine, if he had just not left in the first place, maybe we could have seen a lot of this fleshed out more already, and it would come across a lot better now, but because he's just now getting back, a lot of those questions that Yannik brought up still need to be answered.
Yeah. They haven't announced a Gate of Destiny match for him yet. I feel like he might just be put in the like normal 8-man tag with people that aren't doing that much. Probably against Zebrats. Like him, Naruki Doi, so someone else and someone else versus the whole of Zebrats.
Yeah.
It's kind of the thing I feel like is going to be his match at Gate of Destiny. And then, of course, he will have the handicap match in Korakuen versus all of Zebrats. I think that is when we will really see like his story kick into gear, because it feels like they're in their like holding pattern of waiting to continue the Zebrats match, the Zebrats like rivalry on a like big stage like Korakuen, where they have English commentary and they have a potentially great crowd and all that.
And they've done moves like this before, and typically the babyface loses these matches.
Yeah.
I remember when BB Hulk did a deal when he turned babyface over Mad Blanky.
Yeah.
And he had a similar match where he faced 5 guys, but he beat 2 and then lost in the 3rd. I would easily see something very similar happening here, although there's less people in Zebrats than there was back then. But I still don't think he's going to run through everybody. I think he'll lose, and they'll use that to give kind of a like an unearned win, but still vital. Like maybe Ishin will be the guy who pins him, And like that wouldn't happen if they just faced 1-on-1 normally, but it's something he can brag about later. And it still sets up, it saves Shun and him. So that's where the real heat is of all of this. And again, what I wish we could have seen followed up on right away because of the emotional factor of what happened in the cage. But
sorry to cut you off, but I think I remember the BB Hulk match you're talking about. Wasn't it like he put up the Dreamgate versus all of 4 people in Mad Blanket or something like that?
No, he wasn't the champion back then, I don't think.
Well, okay. So on Cage Match, open the Dreamgate title 4-on-1 handicap elimination match.
I remember something.
Maybe it was.
I've seen this match and it's really good.
Yeah.
Mad Blanky, Cyberpunk, Casey, Mondai Ryu, and Naruki Doi defeats BB Hulk for the Dreamgate title. Naruki Doi is the one that pins BB Hulk and becomes the Dreamgate champion. I remember this match. It's a very good one. Sorry to cut you off.
Even without the title, I think it'll end similarly to that.
Yeah. That's a good little run back. Yeah, I'm glad that they are doing something here. I hope we will see a formation of something after it, because Luis Monte feels very alone right now. Like he needs a home, and it feels like he needs a faction around him, not a faction in. And I think we've all said that for the whole bit, right when he left Searats, is that he feels like a faction leader, not a faction mate now. And of course, we don't know if that was the plan with TN Revolution before he got hurt. That's only speculation. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to say about Luis Monte before we move over to the Acros Fukuoka shows?
You make a good point, but there's a lot of guys that need factions right now in DG. Or more than the sum of the courage.
Or a need to change faction. Yeah.
And there's a couple of guys like that too. Yeah. So they have options if they want to make a faction around Luis Monte. I hope that they have a good plan for it. And you would think with this Zebrats match, something will occur to set things in motion for wherever they're going with Final Gate coming up. And I think that they're on a good little path again. It's been a little down for a while now, but that's one of the things you can point at.
And also, where Zebrats always works best is in Korakuen Hall. That's always where their highlights are. Like, they never feel like they get heat on like small shows in Kobe Sambo Hall or places like that. But in Korakuen, they always feel very hot because the Korakuen crowd is so invested. And they always have like pretty good matches on those cards. So I'm looking forward to that one. But we still have 3 weeks until the first week of November almost. So let's preview this weekend's upcoming double header in Acros Fukuoka on October 22nd. The afternoon show card is opening match Casey, Strong Machine J, UT, and Jackie Funky Kame of Natural Vibes versus all of Zebrats, Shun Skywalker, Kai, Hyo, and Ishin. Then Genki Horiguchi and Jason Lee versus Kagetora and Punch Tominaga. Then Yoshiki Kato 5-match singles series match number 4. Yoshiki Kato versus Ben K. I think that is going to be a very good match. Then Masaki Mochizuki and Mochizuki Jr. versus Yamadoi. Naruki Doi and Yamato. That is a highlight for me on this card.
Yeah.
Then tag team match Kota Minoura and BB Hulk versus Luis Monte and Dragon Kid. Also pretty good looking match. 6-man tag main event. 6-man tag Dream and Brave Gate skirmish. I don't know why. I actually think this is a typo of the Dragongate English account because the Brave Gate has nothing to do with this. I think they meant the Twin Gate. Because it's the Dreamgate champion Madoka Kikura teaming up with the Twin Gate challengers Yuki Oshoka and Dragon Dia D-Courage And they face Big Boss Shimizu and Susumu Mochizuki and Yasushi Kanda. Pretty good main event here. It's definitely a typo, but the English account. Then the main that was the card on the afternoon, and the evening looks like this. Opening match: Gold Class Kota Minoura, Benkei, BB Hulk versus Shun Skywalker, Kai, and Ishin of Seabrats. Then Kagetora and Ryu Tanaka versus Punch Tominaga and Daiki Yamaguchi. Then a singles match: Yuki Yoshioka versus Yo. That's a random singles match. Then a tag team match: Genki Horiguchi and Ryo Saito versus Susumu Mochizuki and Yasushi Kanda, the tag champs. Then the last match of the Yoshiki Kato 5-match singles series: Yoshiki Kato versus Masaki Mochizuki. Then Madoka Kikura and Dragon Dia versus Big Boss Shimizu and UT. And the main event: Casey, Strong Machine J, Jason Lee, Jackie Funky Kame versus Yamato, Luis Mante, Naruki Doi, and Dragon Kid. Pretty. I think the afternoon show is definitely the better one on paper, but two pretty good cards here.
The evening show, except for Kato versus Mochi, the evening card doesn't do a lot for me.
Yeah, but the afternoon show
match
has a lot for me.
Yeah,
Should be fun.
Yeah, those are the last two live shows of October for Dragongate. So it will be the last two shows to cover before Games of Destiny, basically. So let's move over to DDT. DDT, not a lot been going on the shows that have happened since our last recording, Yannik. You have been watching some of the Sub-Pro shows as we are recording. How have you felt about it?
Yeah, I've seen show 2, and I'm in the early stages of show 1. Show 2, it was like what I've seen. Obviously, I'm a selective viewer. It's really good. Let me pull up the card.
Did you watch the
Yes.
6-man tag title match?
Yes,
How was
I
it?
did. It's actually the only thing I initially wanted to watch, and then I saw the card. It was, I wouldn't say it's a great match by any means, but it's somehow wholesome viewing. If you know what I mean. It's just they're not going they're not going out there having the best match ever. It's also Takagi and Akito and Oishi, so it's really interesting because they targeted Yukio's leg or his knee, and they really tortured him, and Akai and Okatani just didn't help him for the longest time. Yeah, it's a good match. If you crave some DDT, watch it. You don't have to throw on this show to see it.
Yeah.
But what you have to see is the main event. Well, the announced main event. There was some Iron Man heavy metal weight stuff. Afterwards.
Yeah, I've seen the clip of this match of Higuchi getting his head put through a table that gets thrown to him by.
Yeah, I should probably mention the main event is Chris Brooks and Takeshi Masada beating Higuchi and Toi Kojima, which is a random as fuck team.
Yeah.
But they worked really well. Also, shout out to Koki Iwasaki and Mao beating Hiroshima and Rukia. It's not a match for Dylan, I'd say, but it's quite different in the style. They try to do hard hitting with, kind of parodying. Koki Iwasaki and Rukia are really good pairing.
Yeah, I love seeing more of Koki Iwasaki in DDT.
Yeah, my love of for him isn't a secret around here.
I think he was only on these shows because he's from Hokkaido. Like he's from the area, so it makes
Which
sense.
is funny because he mostly wrestles.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Yeah.
but
yeah,
he was on the last year too. I'm currently watching show 1. Maybe I can say something about it later, but it doesn't look like it's anything you have to see. They're solid shows, all in all. It's also
the problem is that they got uploaded like within the last 48 hours, and I haven't had the time to watch them.
yeah, it happens.
Sadly.
It feels good to have. It feels good to have Dino back. He is distinctly than Pharaoh Dino.
Yes, I was actually going to bring that up because last time we recorded, of course, we talked about the end of Pheromones, and we had a pretty. I think we had a very like nice kind of farewell to Pheromones. Dylan,
Yeah.
we haven't heard your opinion on Pheromones, the last Pheromones match, and them disbanding. How do you feel about it?
Sadly to say, I just didn't have it in me to watch the farewell match.
I'm
Are
so
they really going to break
disappointed.
up?
They are
Yes.
over. They are over.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I mean, it couldn't have been worse than the tag title match because I did see that.
The tag title match, yeah.
It was horrendous.
Yeah, that was an atrocious match.
Nah, but
to say the least.
The farewell match was really tastefully done. Like, you can't deny that they weren't like an integral part for DDT for a long time, and they got to
I've always said that.
play the great. Yeah, I know. They got to play the greatest hits. It's distinctly distinctly DDT in Shinkiba show or match. It is funny, but it's also distinctly over, and they didn't try to swerve anything, so I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah. It finally frees up Yuki, to do something other than showing his butt all the time. And it looks like they are, because he hasn't been on any of these shows. I will keep saying this until he shows up again. But Yuki, notably absent from every card since Pheromones disbanded. I feel like he's getting a big rebrand, and he's gonna show back up in a very explosive way because they are very high on him. And now that Pheromones is over, they can finally push him without having a sexual gimmick around him.
They should be high on him. He made, Pheromones made them a shit ton of money.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you guys know what the house? Do you guys know what the House of Pheromones is?
No. What's the House of Pheromones?
So at some shows, notably at Peter Pan, but I know they did it on other shows too. They put up a tent and did the House of Pheromones. Entry was, I think, 1,000 yen. And as I wasn't in there, you sit in there alone with them and they make a lot of noises. I haven't seen what happens. Michelle says it's very funny. And the lines were so long for this. And it's it was 99% women, of course, in the line.
Yeah.
But also, everybody please leave the venue. Also, House of Pheromones, they will stay for 2 hours until they're done.
Wow.
Yeah, but you basically get locked into a tent with 2 or 3 or 4 of the Pheromones. That's the House of Pheromones.
Why didn't you go into the House of Pheromones? You should have
Because
filled
yes, but
your
the line
role
was
as a-
the line was too long. I would have gone if it wasn't that long.
You should have filled your role as the Dramatic Dream Dragons host and gone in there to report what was going on in there. But now it will be a secret forever.
I will ask Michelle to do a report of it from memory.
That's funny. I have never heard about that, but that is charming. No more House of
Yeah,
Pheromones.
it never happened on the English Twitter, as you know, you can only get it like in person.
Yeah. But yeah, Pheromones, a thing of the past for DDT. We will probably talk more about that in the because we're gonna have a special guest before Ultimate Party, and he probably has some takes about that also. But before Ultimate Party, the last big show before Ultimate Party is this weekend. It is God Bless DDT in Tokyo Korakuen Hall on the 22nd, so on Sunday. The card goes as follows. Dark match, Somotokao and Yune versus Masahiro Takanashi and Antonio Honda. Masahiro Takanashi and Antonio Honda are the tag title challengers for Ultimate Party, so that should be that they should win this. And Somotokao is of course the new tag champ, so it makes sense. Special singles match. Kazuma Sumi takes on returning legend of DDT Mikami, one of the I think he's the first KOD Openweight champion of all time, if I remember right. It's either him or yeah. Then Daisuke Sasaki, Kanon, and MJ Paul of Domination TA versus Tetsuya Endo and Toi Kojima and Rukia. Obviously a preview of Daisuke Sasaki versus Tetsuya Endo on the Ultimate Party. Then Yukio Naya versus Yuya Kuroku. Then a special six-man tag. Kazutare Iguchi, Makoto Ishii, and Akito takes on Dino teaming up with Burning, Danshoku Dino teaming up with Yun Nakayama and Yusuke Okada. Then Saki Akai's debut 10th anniversary volume 4 special tag match. Yuka Sakaguchi and Hideki Okatani versus Saki Akai and Shihiro Hashimoto of Sendai Girls. Finally get to talk about Big Hash on this show. That's awesome. DDT Extreme and Iron Man Heavy Metal double title match. Let's just enjoy it. Everyone will have a great time. Death match. Kazuki Hirata versus Takeshi Masada. Of course, both titles on the line. Takeshi Masada defending the Iron Man and Hirata defending the Extreme. Then the main event, Road to Ultimate Party 2023 special tag match. Preview of the main event, Chris Brooks and Harashima versus Yuki Ueno and Mao. This looks like a really fun Korakuen.
Absolutely. I would probably, like, on other circumstances, I'd say belt up Masada.
Yeah.
I think that would be a lofty goal to end this glorious reign or this glorious run that Hirata is on. But you have to remember that Hirata will face Hiromu in Ryogoku, so I don't think Masada stands a chance here.
Yeah. What do you think about this Extreme title match, Dylan?
What are the rules to this match?
They haven't said. It's just, let's enjoy, let's have a death match. Like, it could be anything.
Any plan that ends with Hirata losing this title is straight donkey doo-doo, and I will not celebrate it no matter who it is. No matter how much I like Masada or anybody, this title reign must continue. Because it really is the heart and soul of this promotion right now.
Yeah.
We need more of it in our lives, and we cannot end it anytime soon, in my opinion.
I would say this is the heart of DDT, and Chris Brooks with the title is the soul. Like, it feels such a, like, Hirata shouldn't drop the Extreme title, and Chris shouldn't drop the KOD.
Tell me,
right now.
how do you manage to be so cheesy?
Should be
But
noted,
in
this Korakuen Hall show will be free on Wrestle Universe.
ooh,
So you don't need an account to watch this. You can just click on Wrestle Universe and go in and watch it when it airs.
yes, and the poster game is on point as always.
As always.
I have to say, like DDT has not much buzz. Not that much going on, but there's a lot I enjoy at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy with where they are.
Like they are,
personally.
of course, taking kind of breaks between Korakuen Halls and big shows and stuff like that. Like they on the tour shows, they don't do that much, but they still are such a highlight. And there are always a couple of matches on these tour shows that I really want to watch. I really like. Probably after this recording, I will watch the Iguchi and Toy Kojima versus Basada and Chris Brooks match like immediately.
Yeah, watch both Higuchi matches.
Yeah, I am very looking forward to this Korakuen. Like DDT right now, on the road to Ultimate Party is very good for me. November 12th is the date of Ultimate Party. I think maybe next week or the week after we will have a special guest to talk about that show. So that's a teaser. But some other DDT news is that Saki Akai has confirmed that she will not retire. Well, she will not defend the title, the KOD 6-man titles, more before her retirement match. She will relinquish it after she's retired, and they have already confirmed that a vacant title tournament will be held in Shinjuku Face on the 16th of November. So,
yeah,
Eruption, Saki Akai retiring with her titles, it looks like.
Yeah, so I thought her retirement match is a title match.
They never said that.
Yeah, but it's what I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine how beast it would be if Saki Akai would go out standing tall over Marufuji after pinning him in like 2 minutes.
No, I don't want the last match to be 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's not the point. That's literally not the point.
Yeah, I understand.
It'll never be as beast as her standing over Azumi.
Yes, I was. Thank you. Azumi is now Dramatic Dream Dragon's lore because she was part of the not to Sumire 10th anniversary match with Saki Akai. Also was a part of. Very fun match. I watched it right before we started recording. Saki Akai didn't do that much in it. It was more of just Natsu doing stuff with all the others, and also with Saki, of course. But I thought it was a really fun match, and I definitely recommend it to everyone. And it was on Stardom World, which is awesome. It got uploaded today. Yeah.
Yeah, I will watch that eventually. Man, how cool is it that Saki Akai just leaves this business on top of her game?
Yeah. On the this year has been such a great year for her, and it's mostly because of her retirement news.
Yeah, her retirement road is really tastefully done, and she really stepped up her game.
Yeah.
Once you had that match with Brooks, there's nothing left to prove. I feel like I'm so glad that they had that. That main event match, and it's only made. Like you said, everything about her tour has been very tastefully done. It's just really well done. She's been awesome. It's been like a really uniting force. Again, not maybe something that's getting like a ton of buzz or anything like that in the mainstream, but who cares? Like in these smaller venues and stuff, it's just a really good vibe in all of her matches.
Yeah. And they have confirmed her last singles match ever. It will be on the 3rd of November in Shinjuku Face, and it will be against Kazuki Hirata. What a perfect last singles match for her. Like, they will do all the Dramatic Dream Dragon stuff. No, for Dramatic Dream Team stuff.
Yeah, I'm not even sure about that. They could also just do a straight wrestling match. I can totally see that. But
Either way, very high for that match.
totally.
And also on that show, Yun Akiyama and Kotaro Suzuki defends the All Japan All Asia tag titles versus Yuki Sakaguchi and Hideki Okatani.
Oh, that's the same show? Oh, so
Yeah.
cool. I'm really hyped for that match. And I hope Eruption wins. I'm pretty sure I said it last recording, but Sakaguchi obviously wants to win the title because his father, legendary wrestler Seiji Sakaguchi, held the same title in his place.
Yeah. That's the whole point of this match, is that Yukio wants to win the title his father held. Pretty cool.
Also,
why not?
Okatani being an All Japan champion would just rock.
Well, he's already an All Japan champion.
That's actually true. That's true. But they almost don't count. Like, All Japan forgot about these.
Yeah. Like, Eruption had to challenge for them to even make tape. For the 6-man titles to even, like, get shown. Yeah. They haven't said anything about the All Japan 6-man titles, if she's going to retire with those also. I could expect, like, that could happen on, like, an All Japan show. They drop it to, like, whoever. I haven't seen if Eruption have any All Japan defenses lined up. But yeah. Anything else we want to say about DDT?
I like what they're doing right now. I agree with what Yannik said earlier. This is kind of a cold point in their schedule anyway. You know, last year you got around this point. Obviously, you had the big show, but then you'd have the tournament.
Yeah.
But heading into the show, I think they got a lot of cool stuff going down. And I think it's a mostly enjoyable product right now. So shout out to DDT. I think they've really turned it around this year.
Yes. Now, I want to just quickly check in on Glades. Yannik, you can take the backseat for this, because I know
I
you
have the whole show. I'm fine.
Have you watched the show?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I
did, though.
this show. I'm really content with not having watched it.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get to this show also. Glade version X from the 9th of October, Sports Day in Korakuen. Notably, I can't run through this whole show. I didn't watch the whole show. I've only watched the last 3 matches. Shima versus Kaito Ishida was a fine match, a fine replacement for Flamita. I think Flamita versus Kaito Ishida would have been much better, but Flamita got injured, of course.
Shima was an X, right?
Yes, Shima was.
If I paid for this show, I would have been so pissed if X was Shima.
Well, luckily Glade is free.
What? How do you not remember on the Junior Festival when he did the Magnum Tokyo gimmick against Harada?
Yeah,
I do. I forgot, but now that you say, but that doesn't save Shima. It also doesn't save me from Shima.
Well, you saved yourself from him because you didn't watch this damn show.
Well, in fairness, he didn't need to. Like, I didn't tell him to watch it. What did you think?
Are you telling me you didn't want to see that Isami Kodaka Yankee Tukinju match?
Yeah, I have a vendetta against Isami right now.
Yes, I know. He was there.
But Yankee Tukenjo is kind of a different beast.
Okay. You respect Miyamoto, at least. What about Jan's family?
What's that again?
It's Takanori Ito faction with
a horrible faction.
With Issei and
it's
Ito.
Kodama.
Kodama, Masaru Kamino. Such a shit guy.
These are all maybe all of those except maybe Issei are really good wrestlers.
Issei's good.
Yeah, he's fine.
I like him better than Ito.
Damn. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not an Ito fan at all.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But I really want to hear. What did you think about
Oh.
Shima versus Kaito Ishida, Dylan?
Oh, I will shout out one thing.
On the event?
The thing is with Glade, all of their shows are basically the exact same.
Yeah.
So you didn't watch the show, but you had the typical opener with all the guys you would think. Shota was there. In the you had the God Bro team like Shota,
Yeah.
Watase, all that.
Should be
Yeah, I
noted.
saw that.
Should be noted. Someone said, a good friend of the show, Ultimate Bulldog, said, "Oh, Ibushi is a leader because he comes out with these guys versus." And I immediately said, "No, you're getting the storyline wrong. He's supporting the outsiders versus the actual elite wrestlers. Like he
How
is
that
an outsider."
Bulldog made 2 weeks in a row.
Yes, he completely got the storyline wrong. Like Ibushi is not a Gleater. He's against Gleat. He's an invader.
This show had everything on it. You had the death match. You had the freaking Michinoku Pro bullcrap, an awful match that they had there. You had the Joshi match, never going to go anywhere, no matter how many times they do it, even with Arisa Nakajima.
Yeah,
on
even
there.
with Arisa Nakajima, this was not interesting. Like,
No, like this division is going nowhere, no matter who they bring in. It could be the best wrestlers who ever lived. Freaking Kawaki Honma was there. This is such just a totally fucked show, up and down. It's insane. Like this card they put together. But thankfully you skipped ahead to stuff that was mildly worth watching.
yeah,
The Ishida Shima, it was totally fine.
yeah, way too long. I
Oh
felt
yeah,
it got way too long. It outlasted its welcome a lot.
oh yeah. I mean, it was like a 20-minute match. Like, what was this all about? You knew Shima was gonna do it, probably. I will say, here's the one thing I'll say, and especially the main event above all else. The crowd was here for this. Like, it wasn't a huge number, 729 fans.
Yeah.
But the crowd was really hype for this. Like, they like what they saw here. The semi-main event match
Yeah,
was clearly the best of the three.
Yeah, that's like the one match I wanted to talk about the most. Elineman and Hayato Tamura facing the return to Japan of SB Kento and Takuma Fujiwara, now just called SBK and Takuma. Their first match back in Japan for over a year for SBK. SBK's last match in Japan was in, I think, Kobe World 2022, so July 2022. Like his last match was against Hyo on for the Brave Gate on Kobe World Night 2 last year. And Takuma's last match in Japan was in Korakuen for the Noah and DDT Noah and Dragongate Global Dream Show. Where
this was such an annoying match. Like, I hated this. SBK and Takuma, like, were so, like, great when they came in.
Yeah.
I mean, total swag. Like, the crowd was into them. They felt like SBK is, like, next tier to me. Like, Fujiwara is a great wrestler, but SBK is an all-arounder. Like, he just owns the room every time he walks in. And these guys look great. They were doing crazy moves. Like, Fujiwara looked amazing in the match. And then they just lost to this makeshift team that doesn't mean anything.
Classic Shima booking.
It was so stupid. And they didn't even fit together. Like they
didn't have matching gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't put enough effort in, other than like, oh, well, just in case these guys who ultimately aren't stars, like, they have the performance where they could be if they actually did something, but they just blow it right away. Like, the whole point of them coming in, like, we didn't like their debut because it was so lame, to be honest.
Yeah.
But this was not lame. They came across like superstars when this match started, and during the match as well, they were great. You have these are dudes. What are you doing? I just so dumb. But they wrestled really well. I think Tamura. I really love him a lot.
The finishing
I don't
stretch
think
with
he-
Takuma and Tamura was awesome.
Yeah.
Like Lindemann totally came in and stole the pin. Like I thought Tamura should so have won that. Like he should have been the one to take up the pin if the SBK and Takuma was losing. But Lindemann kind of came in and stole the pin.
And he's the champion in All Japan.
Yeah.
So there probably was political stuff for that. Why couldn't you just pin Tamura then? Why just have SBK? Like pin him?
No idea.
He already lost the title match.
Like, I don't think they are. I don't think they will. Like SBK and Takuma feels like some lucha guys they are just bringing in for one-offs. I don't feel like these two will be treated like Kaito Ishida and be put into titles matches and stuff like that. I feel like Glade just is having them to have them in Japan.
But they're just having. Okay, Ishida's run was very short-lived and has done nothing ever since. So he's in the same spot. Like, if he left tomorrow, it's not like it would mean anything.
But, like, he was also treated like a bigger deal that these two are when he came in. Like, when he came in, he immediately defeated a pretty established guy in Glade. Like, he immediately defeated Tetsuya Izuki.
Yeah, and these guys should have gotten the same treatment.
Yes.
But unfortunately...
I don't think Glade has plans for them in that way. I think they only are booking them...
Well, clearly not.
Because they want to book someone that was in Dragongate earlier this year.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like they don't have those plans, but it's stupid that they don't. So
and SBK and Takuma went right back to Mexico after this match. They aren't booked for any of the upcoming tours.
You want to talk about bad quality?
Yeah.
Like why don't you watch some of their matches in Mexico?
Yeah.
And then complain to me about video quality.
I mean,
I won't be watching them in Mexico.
The thing about this match is that it's just like their Mexico matches. It's just a highlight of their wrestling skill, and you just get at the end, you just get frustrated that they are in the wrong place. They should be treated on such a better place than they are treated.
But this company needs guys. They don't have anybody that's treated good in Glade right now. There's no viable challengers. What are they doing? Like, what are they doing in this company? Look at this stupid ass show. Like, up and down. It's like a total, like, warped version of pro wrestling that they're presenting us.
And there's nothing to latch on to for the next couple of months for them. Like
exactly.
That's why. At the end of the show, I have nothing like I'm looking forward to for them. Like the only thing they had going for me before the show was that I wanted to see SBK and Takuma's match in Japan. And
but
now
if you can look at this card.
Yeah.
Every match on this card was outsiders. Like all 9 matches. You had the opener with the Gon Pro guys. You had New Japan with Honma. You had the Joshi talent. Freaking Masakatsu Funaki was back.
Yeah.
Yankee Tukinju, Michinoku Pro, Shima. It's like it just keeps getting worse and worse. So how could you be involved when the outsiders are dominating the company as they've done for the last 2 years?
Speaking of a Korakuen Hall show, but they didn't no tag title match because guess what? The tag champs are over in All Japan doing other stuff.
Having a great match.
Yes,
double champions.
I will get to that match they had on this day because I heard a lot of good stuff about that match.
The time has come for your Saito brothers slander to be turned around, Sondre.
It looks like it. I looked at the time and I was immediately put off, but then I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. I think I will watch it this weekend because I need to catch up on All Japan anyway before their show on Saturday. So yeah.
What about this main event of this Glade show?
Yannik, did
Speaking
you
of
want to
which,
say anything about the All Japan Tag Title match? Since you what?
Oh, about the yeah, it's great. It's
Yeah.
honestly really good. No,
yeah,
but
it
just
is.
to
It
give
is.
my two cents about Glade, because Dylan said that it's all outsiders, and he's obviously right. They had one good thing going, and they killed 60 seconds off.
I can't believe how many people. I'm convinced these are like sleeper agents online. They were happy that they killed 60 seconds off. If you look at the response, they wanted bulk orchestra. And totally, they had potential, but they drug it out. 60 seconds never even reached any of their potential, and they
Yeah,
killed it off right away.
It's true, but that's totally their fault.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The main event of this Glade show. T-Hawk surviving barely Shuji Ishikawa for the G-Rex title. It almost looked like Shuji Ishikawa was no-selling the finish.
Oh, it was like the total like workeriest worker move. So he did this flash pin.
Actually, you know what it reminds me of now that we've talked about it a bit? It reminds me of Austin Aries like immediately getting up after getting pinned by John Morrison or whatever in Impact and like flipping
Okay,
up
I
the
remember
crowd and
that.
leaving.
I do remember that. And that was a totally BS move by a gigantic prick. And we all knew it even back then. But, and this is maybe the only time I will stand up for Austin Aries in any sense. The difference between that and this is, at least Aries got pinned first. This match, Ishikawa's his shoulders were up immediately, and they just it was an immediate kick out, and they counted to 3 anyway. It was awful. Like, and the thing is, it was a great. Like, it could have been great if things had if he hadn't have big time T-Hawk for no reason, seemingly. There was parts of this match that were like really good. And then there was parts that were like really bad, and like T-Hawk was just like, it felt like by the end of it they probably like didn't even talk to each other. You know, when they got backstage, they went their separate ways, and they'll never talk again probably, because there was parts where T-Hawk just blew off of Ishikawa's offense, and sometimes it was cool, and sometimes it was just like, I don't really want to sell for this jack off. And then Ishikawa was like, well, fuck you, you're like 2 feet tall compared to me, I don't want to take a pin from you, so I'm just going to get my shoulders up anyway. And the referee was just like, screw it, I'm counting it no matter what. And then it was just over. And it was like, what kind of champion? It's like,
Shuji Ishikawa going backstage after this match was like, screw this Glade referee, he tried to fuck on me.
He's probably like...
If Ishikawa still has anything to say at All Japan backstage, we won't get another T-Hawk Champion Carnival. Is that
Which had a
saying?
great final.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm actually fine. I don't need another T-Hawk Champion Carnival.
He might have been one of the best guys in that.
To be honest, I honestly don't need this All Japan and Glade partnership.
Yeah, that's what I don't need.
I would prefer DDT and All Japan working more together. Like,
and Lindemann
you would have had problem with me if you said you want DDT in Glade.
No, that would.
You corrected. You were lucky.
That would have been very wrong.
It didn't help anything. Like, you know, like Ishikawa coming in didn't draw. Lindemann stinks as champion, like in All Japan. Who is benefiting from this relationship?
Jonathan Gresham.
Well, I mean, he's going to be an All Japan. He doesn't have anything to do with Glade, to my knowledge.
Yeah, but he faces Lindemann.
I hope he wins.
I guess. Yeah, sure, whatever.
Well, Lindemann's like one of the worst champions right now, so I would be very happy if he lost to anybody. If you can't have a good match with Hikaru Sato, you fucking suck. Like, let's just be honest. Like, you fucking suck. And he's no good, totally washed up. I don't know what happened. It's not that he's washed up. He doesn't care. Because look
Yeah.
at what he's doing in Glade.
Speaking of Hikaru Sato, can we talk some Bachi Bachi?
Yes, we can move over from Glade. Let's check in on some battle arts.
I wish we had
So-
talked about this first because I'm in a bad mood now.
Yeah, we need to end this show on a high note. And the highest note of this year for me in wrestling
It's obviously
It is-
Brother Yoshi. Only point we talk about it. Dragongate history, baby.
Yes, of course. No, it was free. It was on, not free, but it was on Wrestle Universe. I thank the wrestling gods that it was on the Wrestle Universe. I don't know what Fuminori Abe and Takuya Nomura had to pay fucking Takagi to have this on Wrestle Universe, but thank God that they did, because I am so happy that this show got shown on Wrestle Universe and not on like Nico or Twitcast or like any other shit service. But Fuminori Abe and Takuya Nomura had a produce show, mostly booked by Fuminori Abe. I will just say the English name for this because I would butcher the actual name for it. We Are Fighting Detectives, Astronauts produce show. It was kind of a Battle Arts resurrection.
Yeah, they had the logo on it.
Yes. Of course, the main event is what everyone in the Puro scene have been talking about for the last week. I am so in love with this match. I have shown it to my non-wrestling friends, and they are amazed by how real it feels. It is probably the best match I've seen this year, and one of my best matches this decade. I am very high on this main event. And I just recommend everyone, if you haven't watched this, watch Fuminori Abe versus Takuya Nomura, the main event of this produce show. Astronauts going against each other. It's magic.
Honestly, watch the whole show. It's you've seen it in like an hour and a half.
Yes.
But don't watch the main event and then the rest. It doesn't work that way.
I watched the main event and then the rest
Yes,
got... Yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yeah. I just rushed to the main event. Most people have only watched the main event, but I would recommend the whole show. It was a fun time. Dylan, I haven't talked anything about this with you. How did you feel about the show as a whole and the main event?
Yeah. It was so cool. It was so cool to get back online and see everybody watching this show.
Yeah.
Showing such an appreciation for battle art style, bachi style. In this Bokura wa Kakuto Tantedan show, if you want to say the Japanese name of it, but obviously the name of Battle Arts was like Fighting Detectives Battle Arts originally, back when they started in '96. I've seen probably as much of that company as pretty much anybody. You know, it was my favorite company of all time. I have a ton of fond memories of everybody involved with it, pretty much. And it's a style I really miss. Occasionally you get something, you know, maybe a hard hit show or a major Hideki Suzuki match where you see a little bit of that. But it's a style that's really not that prominent anymore. So, of course, this was the show I watched first. I hadn't watched anything for like a whole week. And I had to see what was going to happen here. And there are a lot of there's a lot of good parallels between this show and the original Futen show, which was Daisuke Ikeda's spin-off of Battle Arts. That has like one of the most famous shoot style matches, Ikeda versus Yuki Ishikawa. I actually did a whole show on must-watch matches about that, actually.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite matches. So this has a lot of parallels to that, just with how they book it, because it's like, and this is true of anybody. You know, you mentioned Hikaru Sato earlier. A lot of these shoot style guys are also secretly kind of goofy. Like, you know, Shinya Aoki has that
Or
side to him.
perverts.
Hideki even. Yeah, like everybody. Pretty
Ryo
much.
Kawamura.
Yeah, they're all weirdos, and I say that lovingly, of course.
Yeah.
So you had a little bit of that even in the main event, and I'll get to. The whole show was really nice. You had a couple of people. Obviously, you had Ikeda and Ishikawa. Super Tiger and Keita Yano were both Battle Arts guys originally. Hidaka was also a Battle Arts guy. And Hideki came in at the very end, more of IGF. Abe, his mentor is Munenori Sawa, obviously, who was like a prominent Battle Arts guy at the end as well. So they had that spirit going in for it. The matches are interesting, and they're all different as well. That's something I really appreciated about the show. Like, you can't compare any match to the other. I think if you... Because I put this out on Twitter the other day, asking people's thoughts about it, specifically the main event, because I was wondering how people would think about it. Because obviously all the comments are like, oh, it's the match of the year. Some people say match of the decade. For me, when I watched that match, the main event was a great, great match. Like, don't get me wrong. But I really struggled with the response to it, because in my mind, I'm comparing this to Battle Arts. And then there's also like parts of that match where like guys' thumbs are getting shoved up people's asses in that same like hard-hitting main event.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of the comedic style. Even to the end, I mean, you had this wonderful selling by Takuya Nomura, like in great
So
work.
good.
Yeah,
The
like great
selling
stuff.
was so good.
It was amazing, but the crowd wasn't with them as much as they should have been if they hadn't have done a lot of the comedic stuff earlier. And I was thinking, man, if this were a Battle Arts match, if this was Yuta Yoshikawa, like this would be the most amazing match ever. But then it got it's said to me by somebody on Twitter, because I asked a lot of people's opinions. I was trying to figure out, hey, what did you guys think of this? Because at first I was gonna have like a major hot take-ish thing, because I actually think, I'm not saying it's a better match at all, like, because the main event was still a great match despite my problems with it. But I actually thought the opener was more true to like Battle Arts style than the main event. Like it wasn't anywhere near as good quality wise or anything like that. But I thought that like when I had the main event, I was thinking, oh, I wish that there were things that were changed about it. There's this amazing match, and I got to shout out our friend, your friend and mine, Ashutosh on Twitter, because he sent me a message that really made me like the match a lot more and watch it, I think, in a more correct fashion than what I was doing at first. It wasn't completely Battle Arts, but more of an astronauts match than a Battle Arts match.
That is how I watched it. Yeah.
Well, you don't know anything about Battle Arts, so it's a totally different experience.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I think that when I thought about it that way, and I still liked it the first time, it was still, again, a great match. But again, we're comparing this to a match of the year level match, which I didn't really feel that way at first. But after I watched it more that way, my mind accepted it a little bit better, even the parts I didn't like, and because that is like a lot of that goofy stuff is a part of Abe, who's like a really goofy guy, like his personality character are like that. So it all ended up working out, and it was a great match overall. But if it were me, I wish that it had been a little different, and I would have really loved it. I thought it was as good as the Battle Arts that I love. And I don't think it was like that. I still don't. But I loved it for what it was, which is still like one of the absolute best matches of the year. But I wouldn't put it in my top 5. It might be more of a top 10 right now.
Yeah. The thing is for me is that both of these guys are so much of my like favorites in like the indie puro scene. And like I watch, for me this is watching one of my favorite tag teams go against each other, nothing more. Like that, when I first watched it, that was how I treated it. Like, these two I really love, and I wasn't thinking anything about the style. I was just thinking about the match that they had in the first match that they had in back in Big Japan. That was the kind of formation of astronauts, all leading into this match, and it's just they have only these two singles matches with each other, and it's such a like amazing match for them, for me. Like that's just me, how I feel about it, how I treat it. Um, I didn't compare it to the Battlearts style because I don't, as you said, I don't know that much about Battlearts style. I've watched like 5 matches of their run, and most of them have been Fujita Hayato, when he was a rookie.
Yeah. So for me, obviously I didn't watch it with like the Battlearts glasses on. I feel like or I else felt like I'm the low man on this because I wouldn't say it's a match of the year for a very specific reason. Obviously the wrestling, the violence is gross and very nice, and they're funny, and also I realized like 2 weeks ago I saw both these men live, which was very nice too. They also, if you haven't seen it, go find it. Astronauts versus the Second Gear Crew was a very, very fun and good match, and Astronauts versus Renegades is a dramatic Dream Dragons match.
Yeah.
So I was a very big fan of that, although it wasn't as good as the Second Gear Crew match. But personally, I just struggled a lot with some of the headbutts. I just couldn't enjoy it. Then.
See, that doesn't bother me. I never get bothered by that.
I only wish they'd done 10 more of those instead of like shoving fingers on people's asses.
See, he wants more. I am happy with the amount we got. You want less? See, that's a good perspective.
Yeah, because safety police are so annoying, the worst kind of fans to me. I always hate that kind of stuff.
Yes, but I think the problem here is that the word CTE wrestling has become a thing.
Yeah,
and that's. I don't want to say that on
air. But yeah, I definitely just recommend watching this show, especially the main event.
Oh, it was a great show up and down, and the main event was awesome. Like, I mean, if you look at the show, I mean, like I said, I don't want to be dramatic about it, but I was emotional just seeing how much everyone loved the main event. I hope that they took some appreciation from the other matches. Again, I don't think any of the matches were really great, like on the card or anything.
No.
But it was all good, and they're all different, like I said, and trying to fit in this very particular style. That again, I wish there was more of this style of wrestling and this style of shows. But it's kind of been passe now. Even as somebody who loves shoot style, I also recognize that it's it's not the hot ticket anymore.
Yeah. But it was a sold out Shinjuku phase, which is awesome. Abe said they are doing it again next year. I hope that is also on Wrestle Universe, because this being on Wrestle Universe is what has helped it get so much traction online. And
they outdrew the Joshi Samsat Natsu's show.
Yeah. Which is cool.
Don't misunderstand me. I'm definitely a Joshi Simp.
But yeah, I am really. I just really wanted to end this show talking about that, and in case you haven't seen it, you have to fire up Wrestle Universe and watch it.
Hey, let me ask y'all both. Aside from the main event and the guys you already knew, who stood out? Like, did anybody stand out to you on the rest of the card?
I always loved Toba. I liked the Toba
DDT original
tag match the most of the undercard.
And what about the headbutt in that match?
Yeah.
That was a headbutt.
And Brother Yoshi, Dragongate.
Yeah, why is Brother Yoshi on that show?
But look what he did! Look at the headbutt. He stepped up. That match was fun.
I mean,
It was
that
fun.
kind of makes this show it's a Torimon lore show because
I know.
from the
And DDT with Toba as well.
I'd probably say standing out to me was Keita Yano because it's someone I almost never see.
Oh
But
yeah,
you hear about.
Yeah, of
I
course.
both of those two, Super Tiger and Kitayano, I've never seen before.
Yeah, you
That was a
wouldn't
completely
have to
new
need
experience for me.
Super Tiger isn't needed.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted
In
to close with that.
2008 Battlearts, Super Tiger did some great things.
I will be asking for a Battlearts recommendation, like thing soon.
Oh
But
god, I just hope these
have time.
matches are online still. You know, when Ditch was still around, I could have given you about 100.
Well, I
that
know
were on there.
I know Ash have been watching a lot of them, Ash and Tush.
Oh,
so,
great! Yeah, if you could find them online, there's so much, much great stuff.
But yeah. Anyways, any things you guys want to say before I close?
I just want to say thank you guys for being here and getting my feet wet again in the recording game. I've been off for a little while. Like I said, I haven't been feeling up to it, or even capable, to be honest. But I had a lot of fun talking about these shows. I really feel like I'm caught up on wrestling more now. Like I said, my first show back. But Eastern Layered will have another show this weekend too. Striga's back from the fair he went to last week. I thank you guys for checking in on me while I was away. I really appreciate that. Shout out to everybody who did that. But me and Eastern Layered coming back with a new show. I just released the full version of our theme song, "Rainy Day" too, on YouTube.
I saw that.
Hit single right now. Hey, we got a lot of viewers for like one day, and I just released that yesterday. I made the artwork for it and everything. It was pretty legit, to be honest. But shout out to that. We're gonna have a big show talking about All Japan coming up. More All Japan stuff there. They got Kento and Yuma, big main event there. New Japan, we'll talk about a little bit as well too. I don't know how much Strigo will want to talk about that show, to be honest, but we'll talk about some stuff on there. And I'll get back at it. Wrestle Update will do something. My co-host on there, Nello, just released a new video game. So check out Side Dev Team. Check out what they've got going on. Halloween season's coming up. That's always a big day for me. Halloween. It's one of my favorite times of years. For so many years, I volunteered on that day, so it's always meant a lot to me. And I haven't been able to do it the last couple of years because of COVID and everything. It's up in the air if I'll be able to this year, but I'm going to try, and I'm really hyped for it either way. I'm going to do something for Halloween for sure, no matter what happens. As long as I'm here, I will definitely do it. Basketball starting, all kinds of fun stuff there. But just check out Eastern Lariat. Find me on there. Find me on Twitter at Beaver_0. And thank you so much for listening and following along to all of our journeys. Both myself and both Yannik and Sondre, you both deserve all the success that you can get. So really happy for both of you and to be here and to have you as my friends.
Of course. Very heartwarming, but I can't follow that up. Yannick, can you follow that up?
It's better I don't.
You can. It wasn't that great. Come on.
Well, anyways, we are glad to be back. We will be back next week to talk about God Bless and whatever happens in for Dragongate in Fukuoka. But until next week, as always, be ready, wake up, and go!